Opening day is annually powered by the pageantry and the grandness of celebration in each and every baseball city. It's powered by the newness of a season and the anticipation that all 30 teams feel at the beginning of the yearly trek. Monday's opener was powered by the power within the Boston lineup, and Aaron Herang has the task of halting that power in game number 2. It's one of those nights here in the Northeast in the month of April where you got to do anything you can to stay warm. That's what Cody Ashley and Luis Garcia were doing earlier today. For the fans, they'll get an extra T-shirt. Compliments McDonald's. It's opening night here at Citizens Bank Park. Sponsored by McDonald's. It's game 2 between the Phils and the Boston Red Sox. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs, who was fortunate to get Larry Anderson to shine his shoes earlier today, and Ben Davis, who got a haircut during the off day. So we're all ready to go. We've got Aaron Herang against Rick Porcello, and the Phillies are hoping, Matt, literally, that Aaron Herang can quiet those Red Sox bats.
Well, it is. He's coming into spring training. One, he's healthy. We had some back issues early in spring training. He battled through that. He went in the backfield and worked on some stuff. You know, as you see his numbers over his career, basically a 500 pitcher. Last year, 12-12. 33 starts last year for the Braves. Out of those 33 starts, 25 of them were quality starts, tied with Cole Hamels second in the National League. What you're going to get from him? A lot of innings. He works pretty quick. I've faced him quite a few times in my career, and he's one of those guys where you don't pick the ball up real well because he hides it. He has a slow delivery, and his fastball gets on top of you pretty quick. Even though he throws 90, 91 miles an hour, it seems like it's coming in a lot harder. He's been working on his curveball. He throws it for strikes. He can throw it for a strikeout pitch. He has a very nice cutter, and he has a very good tempo as well.
And you talk about strikeouts. There was a point where he was the National League leader in strikeouts. He's more of a contact guy now, but his task tonight is to quiet those Boston Red Sox bats. Now, on the flip side, there was a lot about the Red Sox offense the other day, but also about the Phillies' lack of offense against Clay Buchholz. They're going to try to do some things against Porcello tonight for the Boston Red Sox.
That's one thing that they definitely will have to do is make him throw a lot of pitches because he basically pitches to contact. He's not an overpowering guy. He is 26 years old, just signed a very, very lucrative deal with the Red Sox, as you can see. 4 years, $82.5 million. That, Tom, is a lot of glue. But he is a guy that does pitch to contact, and he will give you a lot of innings. I mean, despite a 4.3 career ERA, that's a big contract for a 26-year-old, but he has been in the big league since he was 20 years old. The Phillies have their work cut out for him, but they have to make sure that he elevates the baseball because, again, he wants you to hit early in the count, get early outs, and a lot of ground balls, and that's what they need up there at Fenway in that bandbox.
Now, would you wait him out if you're a hitter tonight?
Well, if you get a cookie, go ahead and have at it, but when you get the sinker, you have to make sure that sinker is elevated. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to beat it in the ground, and that's what he wants you to do, and especially a night like this.
And it seemed like that's what Clay Buchholz did the other day to keep the Phillies hitters off balance. Phillies have adjusted their lineup. We'll talk about that. Not so much for the Red Sox. Yes, Pedroia and Hanley Ramirez, each with 2 home runs, are back in there for the Red Sox. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. start. He acknowledges somebody in the crowd as he comes in and then gives the baseball he warmed up with to a youngster in the front row. That young lady was all smiles after that. Yeah, it's a cold night here at Citizens Bank Park. In fact, Larry Bowa is wearing somebody else's jackets. I mean, he's wearing a winter Parker as he goes out toward home plate.
Smart man.
Phillies have taken the field. And a couple of changes to the Phillies lineup coming into tonight's ball game. And Ryan Sandberg had a couple explanations for those changes.
He did indeed, but first and foremost, I need to find out where Larry got that jacket, because I think we're going to all need them. It's never good when you can see your breath in the first inning of a baseball game. But you're right, a little bit of a different look for game number 2 for Ryan Sandberg. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Odubel Herrera, the starting center fielder for game number 1, took a foul ball off of his foot late in that game. Came in today, wasn't feeling 100%, so they had to shift some things around. So that means Darren Ruff will get the start out there in left field tonight, and Jeff Francoeur is going to get the start in right field. Francoeur's numbers against Porcello are very good over his career, so you had to think that maybe that would happen. But Darren Ruff gets an opportunity to play left field, a place he hasn't played a whole lot this spring, but certainly he has over the course of the last 2 years. So Ryan Sandberg said, hey, it's an opportunity for these guys in the lineup, show what they can do some good things, and the way to stay in this lineup is to produce, and that's what those guys are hoping to do.
Yeah, the Phillies are open for anybody that's going to put up some offensive numbers. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Betts, Pedroia, and then Sandoval, followed by Hanley Ramirez, Mike Napoli, and Daniel Nava. Ryan Hannigan bats 7th. Xander Bogaerts will bat 8th, and batting 9th at pitching is Rick Porcello. And they will face Phillies right-hander Aaron Herang, set to go to make his Phillies debut. His numbers last year, pretty good. 12-12, an earned run average of 3.57. Ben, 204 1/3 innings, and that's a pretty good sign for Aaron Herang.
He will give you a lot of innings. He's not an overpowering guy, despite being very big. He's 90-94 with his fastball. Very good curveball, slider, cutter. That's the key pitch for me tonight, is that cutter and the changeup that he likes to throw, and he likes to throw that behind in the count. So he's 2-2 career versus the Red Sox, and he's got a 5.08 ERA, and hopefully he can lower that this evening.
Last time he pitched against the Sox was last year. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and the first pitch of the night. Take it outside. We're underway, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Well, if you stepped outside at all around the Delaware Valley today, you know that it is quite cool out. It's going to be that way today and tomorrow. That one's in there, 1-1. Not only do folks have their ponchos on, but they also have their knit hats on as well. Fly ball left field. Darren Ruff gets his first opportunity, and he's just short of the track. 1 away. Well, with 1 away, let's take a look at our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game.
Well, the keys for me this evening, and first and foremost, the guys at the top of the lineup have to get on base. So that's something they need to do. So the top 2 need to set the table.
And for me, it's Herang tonight. Has to pitch inside with his fastball and his cutter.
Here's Dustin Pedroia, who had 2 home runs the other day. Pedroia, who had 7 home runs last year because he's been battling injuries to his thumb and his wrist. Right out of the chute, became the first Red Sox player to hit 2 home runs on opening day since Carlton Fisk back in 1973. In fact, Pedroia and Hanley Ramirez each did that. No balls and 2 strikes to Pedroia. Just a bit outside, 1-2. Cole Hamels, after the ball game the other day, said, I could tell from the outset that I was going to have trouble keeping the ball down. He said, I put my team down 1-0. It's not setting a positive tone, and it's not sending the right message, and that's my fault.
It was nice of him to own up to that, but that is something that we discussed a lot, is the fact that he had trouble getting that fastball down pretty much all of spring.
On the outside corner, strikeout number 1 for Aaron Herang. 2 down here in the first.
It was funny, Aaron thought he had him struck out on the pitch before that. Chutes got up and throw it around the horn and struck him out twice.
It's a good location. You can see the little tight rotation on that little cutter right there.
There's Pablo Sandoval, who was hitless in 5 at-bats the other day. 3 strikeouts. Take strike 1 at the knees. Sandoval 5 for 26 lifetime against Aaron Herang. Curveball lifted foul. It's 0-2. Well, here are the current conditions. 40. Yeah, 40. Yeah, cold. Wind 11 miles an hour out of the east. Outside and high, 1-2. This question always goes out to baseball players around the league at this time of the year. What would you rather be at this point with the cold temperatures, a pitcher or a hitter?
Me, easy. For me, it's easy. I want to be a hitter, and I'll let Ben answer, then I'll explain afterwards because it's going to take a while.
A hitter. I always like being in the box. Plus, I grew up here, so this is nothing new to me.
You grew up here. Matt grew up in Canada. This is nothing.
And the reason why I enjoy hitting in the cold weather is that your strike zone shrinks. You look for one area. 1, you don't want to get jammed. 2, you don't want to hit one off the end of your bat because you get some bees in your fingers.
Well, so far not so good for the hitter. Aaron Herang picks up a couple strikeouts here in the first inning. The Red Sox go down 1-2-3. A much better start than Monday afternoon. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Red Sox nothing. The Phillies coming up. A baseball game here in South Philadelphia. Game 2 between the Red Sox and the Phils. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Revere, Ruiz, and Utley, followed by Ryan Howard, Darren Ruff, and Cody Ashley. Jeff Francoeur will bat 7th, Freddie Galvis 8th. And batting 9th and pitching is Aaron Herang. And the newly minted contract of Rick Porcello. The ink isn't even dry yet. He's out on the mound, getting set to make his Red Sox debut. As Ben Revere tries to keep himself as warm as possible. Porcello last year 15 wins, 13 losses with the Tigers. 129 strikeouts and 204 2/3. As Ben mentioned before, Matt, he's not a strikeout pitcher.
No, he pitches to contact, and it shows you right there with 211 hits last year. But the scouting report on Rick is that he's 89 to 92 mile an hour fastball, curve, slider, change. And he's 11-6 versus the National League with a 4.49 ERA. You have to get him up in the zone and be patient because he will give you a good pitch to hit.
Made his major league debut back in 2009 as a 20-year-old. Revere takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Ben has good numbers, even though it's only 19 at-bats against Porcello. He's 7 for 19 against him. 0-2. Red Sox acquired Rick Porcello this past offseason from the Detroit Tigers. Cespedes went to the Tigers. Those two guys were the focal point of that trade. Now the 0-2 pitch to Revere. Slaps it foul past Pete McKenna. Tonight's Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is John Doty of Birdsboro. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then John will win $200. Of course, we did not have a winner the other day. The Phillies only had 3 hits and 1 extra base hit. It was the double by Ryan Howard. Ground ball right side. Pedroia, who is playing shallow.
Yeah, that right there goes to show me that Hannigan and Porcello, they're just not on the same page yet. It's one thing to have a scouting report and go over that, but a pitcher, when they get out on the mound, sometimes they turn into a completely different animal. I saw Hannigan put down 6 different signs right there. 6. On the 6th one, Porcello said, that's the one I want. It's amazing.
I didn't know the man had 6 pitches.
Well, he tried a fastball in, fastball away, change up, cutter or slider in, backdoor slider. It's just, they can be challenging at times, those stinking pitchers.
Phil Cuzzy, the home plate umpire. Jerry Davis, the crew chief's over at third. Will Little's at second base. And Tony Randazzo is around at first. Here's Carlos Ruiz. He was 1 for 2 with a couple walks in the opener. Two balls and no strikes. Opposite way, and it sneaks into right field, a base hit. Second hit of the season for Ruiz. All spring long, we talked about Freddie Galvis or Odubel Herrera being the number 2 hitter. Carlos, from time to time during his career, has provided a nice spark for the Phillies as the number 2 hitter.
Well, and I like him. We talked about it last year, him hitting in the 2-hole, because he can hit behind the runners. He can move guys over. He's a very good hit and run guy. What I've liked so far this spring is that he's staying out of the air. In spring training, he got a little loopy. He was hitting fly balls to right. Now he's getting on top and driving to right field. Even though that was a jam shot, he still stayed through it and got a base hit.
Well, now Chase Utley. Utley was 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts the other day. Takes a fastball on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Utley last year, 11 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Was red hot in the month of April. Pedroia gets another opportunity, and they'll get the lead runner at second base. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Ryan Howard is the batter, 1 for 4 the other day with a double the opposite way. That was the first hit of the game for the Phils.
And he looked very nimble over at first base. Very nimble.
High chopper to Napoli, and the inning is over. 3 unassisted, no runs, 1 hit. 1 man left for the Phils, 1 in the books here in South Philadelphia. It's a scoreless game between the Phillies and the Red Sox. Dog Night at 7:05. Tickets are still available by going to Phillies.com. Also, tickets available for this weekend series against the Washington Nationals. Opening night T-shirt given out by the folks at McDonald's tonight. You can add that to your collection. The bright red. We go to the top of the second. Hanley Ramirez will lead things off. Ramirez has the most at bats against Aaron Herang. 10 for 29 against him. He's all geared up for a fastball, and Herang starts him off with a slider.
Oh, with the 10 hits, though, 5 were homers. So it's something I know that's in the back of both their minds as they approach this at bat.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Herang made his major league debut back in 2002 with the Oakland A's. He was 5-4 that year. Then went on to the Cincinnati Reds. He spent 8 years with Cincinnati. Had 16 victories twice and struck out over 200 batters twice also. And led the National League in strikeouts one of those seasons.
That's a good location right there. Hanley Ramirez doesn't like it, but it's actually a pretty good pitch.
Good pitch for Herang.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. That's the 3rd strikeout for Herang. So he struck out the last 3 batters.
You watch the tilt on this slider, and this is just excellent. It's very late breaking, and sliders, some are big. Some guys throw bigger sliders than others, but that was a very tight one. Late breaking, that's the one that the pitchers like to throw.
And so far through the first 4 hitters, he seems like he's getting on top of the baseball and using that 6'7" frame. He also has a home plate umpire that is feeding him strikes here tonight. He's right around the zone.
It's a good location again. It's a good spot to miss if you're going to miss right there. Ben wanted that pitch.
I did want that pitch.
Napoli did have an at-bat the other day. He wound up walking. He came on to play first base for David Ortiz. I thought maybe Ortiz would be in the lineup again tonight because his numbers are so good against Herang. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Too cold for Poppy.
You know what? That did cross my mind that maybe it was a little too cold for him.
He's got his feet up on the desk, watching the game in the coach's office probably.
On the outside corner again. 4 straight strikeouts for Herang. 2 looking, 2 swinging.
You know, this is the pitch right here, the fastball way. We talked in the open how easy his delivery is, and the ball gets on you so quick. You can see where Chooch is set up low and away. Perfect straight, perfect. That's a perfect call. He's a guy. Herang's a guy that you think's coming. He's going to lie to sleep, and then all of a sudden, you know, the nice easy delivery. His ball gets on you pretty quick. It's a hard 91 mile an hour.
Well, he short arms the heck out of the ball. He really does.
Here's Daniel Nava, who did not play in the opener on Monday. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nava.
And the mist has picked up a little bit here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Starting to blow a little harder.
I don't know if this is the perfect weather for Murph to unveil his poncho to show folks how to put the poncho on and take the poncho off. We probably want a little more wind, Murph. Is that what we want? We want to make it a little more challenging?
Well, I know what you want. That would be gale force winds. I prefer a nice, warm, gentle day.
Yeah. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball foul.
Murph, I'm always concerned, but did you have to apply a little bit more hair product today?
Well, no, I didn't yet, but, I might have to later on. I'll follow your lead, Ben. I always do.
All right.
So, Matt, what do you want to talk about?
This good curveball down and in right here for a strikeout.
1-2 pitch to Nava. Broke his bat. And Chase Utley to his left a few steps. And a 1-2-3 second inning for Aaron Herang. 6 up, 6 down. He's pretty sharp here tonight. We'll go to the bottom of the second. The Phillies looking for a run. Rob Ellis, Julian Mealy, Barrett Brooks, and Sarah Baker, and with special guest Terrell Owens. Follow on Twitter at Bob on TCN and watch Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute, tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 right here on the Comcast Network. Bob Costas was on earlier today. On the first show was Chase Utley, Ruben Amaro, Kurt Schilling was on. Kurt was the first guest on Comcast Sportsnet. So they thought it was appropriate to have him on as the first guest on Breakfast on Broad. Crew's doing a nice job kicking things off. Here's Darren Ruff playing left field tonight. Darren made 13 starts in left field last year. As Murph talked about before, Ruff is out in left, Revere's in center because Herrera is out with a sore foot. Over the mounds. Bogarts shuffled his feet a little bit, but was able to throw Ruff out.
I know it's not the ideal weather conditions to get a start in a ball game like this, but if you're Darren Ruff, you really want to try and make the most of your opportunities. Darren Ruff here with a dribbler up to shortstop. Good hustle there. But getting back to that, yes, it's not ideal, but if you want to find your way into the lineup, you have to make it most of every opportunity. So you really just have to block that weather out, block the elements, and go play.
Another one back to the middle, flagged down by Porcello, 2 outs. Talking to Ruff and Francoeur today, I mean, both were obviously excited about the chance to get into the lineup. And both talked about Rick Porcello and what they needed to do. And Francoeur has a lot of experience against Rick Porcello.
He does, and I don't know if he told his teammates, because he said you have to be patient with Rick Porcello. He'll give you a pitch to hit sometime through it and at bat. And so far this game, we've seen these guys swinging early in the count, but Francoeur's got pretty good numbers, and he has a good game plan how he wants to approach them.
It's funny to hear Jeff say that, though, because he's
I thought he was going to swing there.
I thought the same thing. I thought he was going to swing right there. balls and 1 strike to Francoeur. 0 for 1 the other day as a pinch hitter. And he breaks his bat, loops it out towards left. Hanley Ramirez will play it on a high. Well, he did take 1 pitch, Matt.
Well, he did, but he took a fastball away. And Francoeur is a very smart hitter. He knows that he wants to sit on a certain area. And right here in that situation, you got a sinker inside. And even though it jams him a little bit, he actually takes a very good swing. He was a hair of hitting that ball off the scoreboard.
But you see where that sinker was? We talk about elevating the sinker. Looking for a sinker, getting the sinker, doesn't mean you have to swing. You just have to make sure that pitch is elevated. It was in off the plate, but it was elevated. And that's the one he chose to attack and got a knock for it.
Freddie Galvis is the hitter, the number 8 batter for the Phils. Takes a strike, 0-1. Freddie did not have a particularly good day on opening day. Freddie is behind that mask.
It's not that cold out.
Well, maybe for a guy from Venezuela it is.
Point.
1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know if folks at home are thinking about this or not, but on a cold day like this, all this extra stuff like the mask and everything like that, you know, the mask that Ruiz was wearing around his neck, I mean, does that do anything? Is that a distraction at all for you guys as hitters?
Certainly, guys. For me, I just want to wear no sleeves.
Show off the guns?
That's right.
No. That's Ben's job.
Final score from earlier on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Tigers shut out the Twins for the 2nd straight game. Anthony Ghost made the start in center field for the Tigers. 3 RBIs. Anibal Sanchez was the starting pitcher for Detroit in that game.
There's a lot of runs being scored early on, I think, in this young baseball season. Some big numbers being thrown around.
Yeah, look what the Braves did last night to the Marlins in the 1st inning. A 7 spot against Matt Latos in the 1st inning.
I stayed up last night and watched the Dodgers and the Padres. Regretted it this morning when I took the kids to the bus stop. But, you know, even the Padres, late in that ball game, they started to just get some runs.
Think about even our game here the other day. It was 4-0 until Hanley Ramirez hit that broken back grand slam. But you know, an 8-0 victory.
And I stayed up late last night to watch the LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers. Oh wait, wrong sport.
Was there a lot of scoring going on in that game?
No, it was a boring game. 4-2, empty netter.
Any lower body injuries?
Nope.
No.
2-2 pitch to Galvis and a ground ball off the glove of Napoli, picked up by Pedroia, and Napoli's able to get to the bag in time to retire Freddie Galvis. So the putout will go 3-4-3. We'll go to the 3rd. No score between the Red Sox and the Phillies. please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, boys, the question is, who is the only pitcher to lead the major leagues in ERA 5 times during his career? 5 times during his career. By the way, did you see the pitch that Randy Johnson threw out the other night in the Arizona Diamondbacks game?
No.
He fired it.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Does that surprise you?
Well, I mean, he is 50. Close to it.
Just to give you a hint, all the questions that are asked usually have to do with the team we're playing against.
Gotcha.
Excellent tip on your part, Matt.
Thanks.
There's Ryan Hannigan to lead it off. So far, Herang has struck out 4 Red Sox batters. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. High, 2 balls and 1 strike. Brian Hannigan has an interesting note next to his name in the Red Sox notes. He has 221 career walks and 198 strikeouts. He is one of 9 active players to have more walks than strikeouts for his career.
It's an impressive stat nowadays in this game.
Yeah, because strikeouts, as you and I were talking about before the game, are way up.
Right.
Foul tip hung on to by Ruiz. 5 strikeouts for Aaron Herang. Well, tonight, Murph, he looks more like a power pitcher with some of these swings and misses that he's getting from these Red Sox hitters.
Yeah, so far so good for Aaron Herang. As you mentioned, his fastball seems to be working well. His cutter is working well. 5 strikeouts through 7 batters. I think he would take that early on in this game. But, you know, a trend that we probably should look for as this game continues is the use of his curveball. It's something that he's kind of developed over the last couple of years. If you look at the numbers, you see over the last 3 years, the chase pitches, which is basically throwing the curveball out of the strike zone and still getting guys to swing and miss. That's the percentage. It has gone up more than doubled over the last 3 years at 37.5% last season. So he's getting guys to chase the ball out of the zone. And, you know, Ben and Matt, I'll ask you guys, why the dramatic difference over the last 2 years in Aaron Herang and the effectiveness of his curveball?
Well, I think a lot has to do with the fact that not many people throw a overhand breaking ball anymore. It's a pitch that I think these hitters are just getting fooled on. Simple fact, they're getting fooled because they don't see it. You know, it's not a pitch. It's a very hard pitch to throw, and I think hitters just aren't used to seeing it, and they end up chasing it.
And I would agree, and I think a lot has to do with he throws it with 2 strikes, and he's very good at throwing those curveball and trying to bounce it onto home plate. You try to bounce that curveball at the very back, the hitters think it's going to hang up there long enough to take that big hack. You know, and that's one thing about his. There's the curveball right there. The only reason why he didn't swing at that curveball is because he got bucked.
If it was up a little bit higher, he may have been punched out.
Right, and he was not even looking for that curveball.
Here's the 2-2 pitch to Bogaerts. Chopper towards shortstop, backing up on his Galvis. Nice play by Howard on the back end on the scoop. 2 outs.
Excellent play there by Freddie. Now that's a ball, if he probably chose to attack and charge that ball, may have gotten it in between hop there, but he chose to stay back and rely on his arm strength. And it is tough because the ball is slick. But he stays back on it and throws a rocket over to first.
I like how he plants his back foot right there, and then Ryan comes up with a nice easy scoop at first base.
Soft hands on both ends.
Yeah, Howard looked fluid when he picked that one with one hand. Here's Porcello. Porcello 0 for 4 last year, 4 for 21 lifetime. The ball's at 1 strike. There's the curveball that Murph was talking about.
And if you look at the numbers over the last few years when he throws his curveballs, He throws about 15% of the time, but with 2 strikes, he's close to 24% of the time. So that's what he uses for an out pitch.
That was the first ball that I thought was a strike that Phil Cousins hasn't called here tonight.
A little low.
There you go. Curveball swung on and missed. Strikeout number 6. 9 up, 9 down for Aaron Herang. He's got some good stuff going tonight. Speaking of good stuff, take a walk out to Ashburn Alley to find some good food. By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. And by Papa John's. The day after every Phillies win, get 50% off your regular menu price online order using promo code Phillies at PapaJohns.com. Folks enjoying a little stroll along Ashburn Alley. Hardy bunch out here tonight on a cold evening for baseball. Phillies and the Red Sox scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third. Guys, we want to send get well wishes out to our friend Sean Huff, who's been with the Phillies for 16 years. He missed opening day the other day because he's recovering from surgery. And I thought it was strange when I was walking around the ballpark and I hadn't seen him. But Sean is recovering and will hopefully be back to work very soon. First pitch to Aaron Herang is taken up high. 1 ball and no strikes. One of the many folks that makes this place such a great place to come to work every single day. 2-0 to Aaron Herang.
We watched some of the pitchers take BP the other day, opening day Monday, and Aaron was playing pepper with the seats out there in left field, which you'd like to see.
You know, we had heard this about him, but he is as good-natured a guy as you will meet in this game.
We arrived at the yard today at the same time. We walked from the parking garage down to the, well, he went to the clubhouse, and just as pleasant as could be. No signs of nerves. I said, "You excited?" He said, "Very excited." He was a little skeptical about the weather, but just as nice and pleasant as could be.
Well, that's the first strikeout for Porcello, and he'll bring Ben Revere to the plate. Revere grounded out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Curveball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
second time he's thrown a curveball.
Second time, yeah.
Out of 29 pitches, he's thrown about 27 fastballs.
Trying to get the feel of it, Matt. That one is floated out towards shallow center. Betts comes running in and makes the catch. He was peeking at Bogarts a couple times before he realized he had to put the burners on. So 2 away. This Sunday, when the Phillies wrap up their 3-game series against the Washington Nationals, it's Turkey Hill Kids Opening Day. Phillies backpack, free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com for all 3 games against the Nats. There's that backpack. Here's Carlos. He singled his first time up. 1 of 2 hits for the Phils today.
The more I look at this thing around his neck, I can't understand how much more that could possibly provide.
I wonder if he just puts it up when he's yeah, I don't.
When he catches.
When he catches?
Yeah. Either that or he started a new fashion.
I was wondering if he was like an ascot or something.
Yeah. You can see his forearms are exposed, and then he has that little thing around his neck.
Is he contradicting the style there, Ben?
I guess. Hey, you got to knock his first time out. Let him do what he wants, right?
Ryan Hanigan has his cap under his helmet and his long locks to keep him warm. 3-1 to Ruiz.
Definitely a count you can be very aggressive with right here. 3-1, 2 outs. Going to get challenged.
Over the mound, Porcello slips down. Pedroia goes sliding across the grass. Well, he's 2 for 2, so we may see him when it's 85 degrees wearing that thing around his neck.
Two for 2.
Yep, 2 for 2 with a pretty good sinker. Chops up the middle, perfect placement. Nice way to play by Pedroia.
Boy, that's got to be cold. Pedroia sliding across the grass like that.
Good distance.
Good distance.
Very good distance.
Very own slip and slide. Buckley grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 5 so far.
I would think Chase would see Porcello pretty good. Low ball hitter, sinker ball pitcher. Kind of going into his little strength where his area is for his swing.
Out towards center field, Betts comes in. He'll be there. And the Phillies are retired here in the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Phillies have 3 hits so far through our first 3 innings. clocks in at 70 pages per minute. Get yours today for up to 50% off from who but WB Mason. No score. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Along with Ben Davis, Matt Stairs, and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. Our look around the ballpark. Boy, it's great to have that camera to show some of the angles and show some of the spots that we don't normally get a chance to get up close to here at Citizens Bank Park. We have that camera that's floating around. Aaron Herang will go to the 4th inning. It'll be Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Pablo Sandoval. Betts fly to left his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
This is where I find it interesting to see how hitters, their second time around, what kind of approach. Betts first at bat, he threw a lot of fastballs to him.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Up and away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. He hasn't fallen behind too many hitters, which is obviously what's helped lead him to the 6 strikeouts tonight. That's in there, 3-2. First 3-ball count of the night.
See, that's a fastball you'd think you'd want to crush, but it gets on you so quick because, like Ben said, he short arms it.
Off the hands, Darren Ruff in left field makes the catch. 1 out. Dustin Pedroia is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, Tom, we're going to give you some injury updates from in and around the organization. And Mario Hollins today, we knew he was probably headed this way. Well, we're told today successful Tommy John surgery on that left elbow. It was done by Dr. Michael Ciccati. And obviously, Mario will be out for the season as he recovers from that. And also, 2 pitchers down in the minor leagues, Ethan Martin, Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, both having MRIs this week and both having some shoulder inflammation. Both of those guys being shut down from throwing for 2 to 3 weeks. So not good news for those guys as they try to work their way back up to the big league. So, but the big story really is Mario. And like we said, we thought perhaps he was headed that way. He was going for a second opinion. He got that. They decided this was the best course of action. So Mario out for this year, but hopefully he'll be healthy enough to return sometime next season.
He was in good spirits the other day when he was at the ballpark. And I think a lot of us thought flexor pronator. Once they went through the MRI, they might find something else, and it did lead to the Tommy John surgery. Other news, too, is Chad Billingsley is scheduled to throw on Friday night for Lehigh Valley, so he'll take another step closer to getting with the big club at some point, as long as he's healthy.
That's some good news right there.
Some great news. I'm anxious to see when he is fully 100% healthy what he can do for this ball club and for this pitching staff.
Yeah, 2 different elbow surgeries is what has sidelined him over the last couple of years.
Always liked his stuff. Always. 4 pitches to get you out with.
At 94, 95, which is huge.
And don't forget about that.
Sandoval struck out his first time up.
Well, and plus he throws the old equalizer. The darn cutter. It's hard to hit when the guy's throwing 94 and he's throwing that cutter at 90, 91.
Hey, Mariano ruined the hitting for a lot of people.
Oh, brutal. A lot of bats, too.
Saw a report where his son was throwing 94 the other day in a college game.
I don't doubt it.
Mariano Rivera Jr. 3 balls, 1 strike to Sandoval. Foul tip, and it's 3-2.
I like that. 2-0, 3-1. Here it is. If you can hit it, hit it. I am not going to put you on. I know he's a free swinger, but I like to see that.
A line drive, base hit into center field. It's the first hit of the night for the Red Sox. 2-out single here in the fourth. So he had retired the first 11 batters that he faced. Follow the Phillies all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
So would that be considered his first American League hit?
I guess
even though you're playing in a National League game?
I think technically it would be his first American League hit. Ryan Howard is able to flag that one down. Smoked up the line. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. And the Ramirez never even left the batter's box. Well, a couple good plays tonight by Ryan Howard. Right place, right time for that one. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Home half of the fourth inning. Scoreless game. Probably pretty chilly walking along the concourse. Ryan Howard will lead it off. Red Sox have the overshift on against Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, David Ortiz, and Chris Davis of the Baltimore Orioles have faced the most shifts in baseball the last couple of years. I don't think it's any surprise.
Nope.
Maybe Davis was, just because we're not as familiar with them, but Ortiz and Howard, you watch them so much. For us, we watch Howard all the time. It's not surprising at all to see the shift on against him. Tried to lay off. Doesn't matter. Called a strike. It's 1-1.
That was one of the first changeups we've seen out of Porcello this evening. Great location. And it wasn't that 8 to 10 mile an hour differential, which you want.
Balls and 2 strikes. Howard was very aggressive in his last at bat when he grounded out to first base, and he seems to, at least in his first couple of games, he is more aggressive, at least in these few at bats that he's had.
A lot of his first 5 at bats. His first 5 at bats this year, 4 first pitch swing. So you can tell he's feeling comfortable and he wants to be aggressive, which is fine as long as he's swinging at a quality pitch.
Sharply to the right side, diving play, Pedroia. Boy, he is everywhere.
That's an at bat though Ryan can build off of. It was a very good at bat. Hit a bullet. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in his favor for a knock, but he can take that into his next at bat. Saw some pitches and still squared the ball up here.
I agree. It's a sinker that came back out over the middle of the plate. And Pedroia, where he's playing, is usually where the shortstop comes over. Usually we've seen in the past the second baseman shallow right field. But the little Nat makes a nice play and gets up and throws him out. Which is, we talked about the other day, a compliment.
7 ground ball out so far for Porcello.
You could see, though, where that would get frustrating if you're Ryan Howard. Smoking the ball on the right side. As soon as you hit it, it's got to be very defeating if you're running down the first baseline. You did your job as a hitter. You hit the ball hard. After that, it's out of your control. It's one thing I always try and tell younger hitters, that all you can worry about is hitting the baseball hard.
Up the middle, and again Pedroia is there. Off the glove of Napoli. Pedroia made only 2 errors last year.
He kind of rushed this play a little bit. I think he had more time than he thought. He makes a nice play, but he gets up and throws a little short hop.
When he did get to his feet, he just didn't have any momentum going towards first base. Kind of threw off his back foot there. That's why you see the ball not carry to first base. Napoli over there.
Should Napoli have picked that one, Matt?
Should have. I don't know. I can't tell how the ball was spinning towards him. Big man Ryan Howard did earlier in the game, so yes. But then again, it's easier said than done.
Well, I'm sure Dustin's upset with himself knowing that he had some time there and made an errant throw.
Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Broke his bat out towards shortstop. There's 1, and that's all they'll get. So Ashley's safe at first. 6-4 on the putout at second base. Well, the Phillies have 3 hits tonight against Porcello, but the fact that he has all these outs on the ground shows that his stuff is moving the way he wants it to move.
And very late. And all the pitches that he's making, you know, this is a water ball right here. There's actually a hit and run.
You know, the rain had been falling for a while. The tarp had been off the field for quite some time. They took batting practice. Both teams did.
Pitchers were out here for PFP, pitchers fielding practice, or earlier today. I'm very surprised to see that.
Hardcore stuff, Ben. Not fooling around.
But again, this is talking about fundamentals.
This is the show. This is the show, man.
Thanks for pointing that out, Matt. 4A baseball, right?
4A.
4A.
Frank Cord takes up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. He had every right to call time there. He was waiting a long time for that pitch to be thrown.
That's a good take right there. That's the pitch right there. You can see the career numbers right there. 8 for 21 with 1 home run. That's what he wants you to swing at. Is that fastball that starts at the bottom of the zone and And next thing you know, you're killing the worms up in front of home plate.
Because there is literally nothing you can do with that sinker except beat it into the ground.
That's what you call a get me loose swing right here. Little sinker, 2-0. I'm going to try to eat it as far as I can to left field.
Why not?
I always said the 2-0 swing was for the fans.
Oh, man. 2 balls and 2 strikes. High chopper to shortstop, and Bogarts will flip underhand to Pedroia. And the Phillies go down quietly here in the 4th inning. They leave 1. They've left 3 through the first 4. On to the 5th. Napoli will lead it off for the Red Sox. The Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves in a 1:35 first pitch. All fans 14 and under will receive the Fanatic Baseball Socks. There are the socks right there. You can go to Phillies.com to check out a picture of it and order your tickets. Fanatic is as popular as ever, as you can imagine. Dangle hats were introduced a couple years ago, and they're still hot selling items. Well, as the mist continues to swirl around.
Now, from a hitter's approach, if you're looking for a first pitch breaking ball, that's the one you want to hit. Pedroia didn't do anything with it, but if you get that pitch, you see it spinning, you see a pitch that's elevated, that's the pitch you want to hit, and that's the approach. No, he didn't hit it hard anywhere. There was a good aggressive swing. He got the pitch he was looking for. That's what you want to do with it.
Well, let's see if Herang can handle him this time as he did the last time. Got him to strike out. Napoli had 6 home runs during the Grapefruit League. That's why John Farrell said it was so hard for him not to start him on Monday in the opener, because he was coming in pretty hot. Whacks it foul.
And Mike wasn't all too happy about it, as you can understand.
Yeah, you'd have to realize that, though. Opening day, Red Sox, Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Yeah, but he's thinking left-hander on the mound.
He's thinking 72 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not the way we're programmed, though. We want to play.
Jeff Francoeur will put it away for the first down here in the 5th inning. Not a whole lot of offense here tonight for either team. Phillies with 3 hits, the Red Sox with just 1. That'll bring Daniel Nava to the plate. You guys remember your first hit in the big leagues?
Yes, I do.
What did you get, Matt? All right, let's go back to you. What did you get, Ben?
I had a single on a breaking ball in San Diego against the Rockies.
Matt, what did you get?
Who was the pitcher?
No.
I don't know.
My first big league knock was against Jose Rio in Cincinnati. I believe it was a 2-run single.
It's a good pitcher to get your first knock against.
After my first 3 at-bats were against Rob Dilton.
That's not fair.
No. Couple starting the season off 0 for 3 with 3 punchies.
Well, Daniel Nava's first big league hit was a grand slam against the Phillies on the first pitch. He crushed it. Talk about remembering your first moment.
It's in the record book.
I mean, he absolutely killed it.
So that would have been 3 years ago?
Yeah, I believe it was 3. Curveball in there. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Really doesn't get any better than that now, does it?
Inside the park home run would be cool.
It's too hard.
It is.
You out of breath for an inning or 2.
I'd be upstairs laying down the tran table. Nice. Who was the grand slam off of?
I was just thinking that part I don't remember. I just remember how loud it was at Fenway Park when he did it. It was a Phillies starting pitcher. I can't remember who it was. Popped up left side into foul territory. Ashley sprints over toward the rail and makes the catch. And now 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Cody does a great job there, just finding the spot, getting over, and making the play. It's the best thing you can do as even an outfielder. Find a spot where you think that ball's going to land and get there as quickly as you can.
The way he sprinted after it, I thought it was going to slice into the crowd.
The ball still came back despite the wind blowing towards left field. The ball really sliced back towards the field.
The ball's 1 strike to Hannigan. Curveball. Out toward right field. Francoeur ventures toward the track. He's there. And a 1-2-3 5th inning for Aaron Herang. He's allowed just 1 hit. He's faced 1 batter over the minimum as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. over. Ask him a question by using hashtag TO Takeover. Then watch Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute, live Thursday morning at 6 a.m. right here on the Comcast Network and on breakfastonbroad.com. Rick Porcello will go back to work here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He'll face Freddie Galvis, then Aaron Herang. And then the top of the order. Phillies have managed 3 hits tonight. 2 singles by Ruiz and a base hit by Jeff Francoeur. That's pretty much it, although they've had base runners. They've had at least a base runner in each inning so far. Freddie grounded out his first time up. First pitch is inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Great for Freddie to get on here. Have Aaron bunt him over. Runner in scoring position.
Freddie going with a different bat. Did he use a light bat the whole spring training?
He did. I think he broke it the other day. Or he broke one of them the other day.
He broke his last at bat, I think.
Check swing. And it's 1-2.
And this one looks like it has a knob on it. That's the U1 he's been using. Obviously does not have a knob. Kind of a flared end there.
Yep.
So at a Major League scoreboard, the Nationals have taken a 2-0 lead over the Mets in the bottom of the first. Ryan Zimmerman, a 2-run home run. Phillies will open up Citi Field for the Mets on Monday, opening day in New York.
I think you're going to see some production out of Ryan Zimmerman this year. He just has to play first, doesn't have to worry about throwing the baseball. Just go play first and hit. And that is something he can do, is hit.
Off the hands, a looper out to short, and Bogaerts comes diving forward. 1 out here in the 5th inning. So guys, what's so funny? An infielder diving forward for a ball like that? A hitter hitting it softly like that?
Both. Not so much on Freddie's part, but I mean Bogaerts really had to run in on that and lay out for it. I can't say I've ever seen that before to that degree, that deep at shortstop. You've seen third baseman, first base run in, dive for a bunt, something along those lines, but not to that extent.
Softly to the right side, and Porcello will retire Herang. 2 outs. The Phillies have gone now 13 2/3 without a run to start the season. They are due to bust it open, Matt.
That they are.
Didn't want to take that one on the short hop, I guess. That is something.
Revere is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also flat out to center.
Have you seen that before, Matt?
No, and I'm trying to figure out how you score that. It's not a line drive.
I put an L with quotation marks around the L. L6.
I put L6 and put loop over top of it. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a shortstop come in on a ball and dive before. Or a second baseman.
Off the end of the bat out towards center field. Betts comes charging in, and they'll drop in front of him a base hit. So Ben Revere has his first hit of the season. So a base runner here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Phils.
From this view up here, I thought Betts was going to make a play on that ball.
I did too. I thought it was going to hang up there long enough for him to make a play on the ball. Goes, pitches a strike, throw to second base is not in time. Stolen base number 1.
Pretty good throw.
It was an excellent throw, and I was anxious to see whether or not he would go with the wet track out there. But last year, base runners were 7 for 14. Purcell's a tall, lanky guy, but he's very quick to home plate. Obviously, has a good move to first as well. But Ben Revere, that's great. You got a guy at the home plate with 2 knocks already this evening. Hopefully, get his 3rd, and the Phil's on the board.
Carlos has 2 hits today. Takes inside. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is where at times I think Chooch becomes a very good hitter. He shortens up his swing. Now hopefully he does it here, and it might not happen, but his approach changes when he has 2 strikes. He knows how to hit the ball to right field. He knows how to calm his swing down a little bit to see the ball and let it get deeper in the zone.
2 balls and 2 strikes. In the dirt, gets away from Hannigan. Over to 3rd.
There's Chooch going.
It was 2-2, wasn't it? Now it's 3-2. There he goes. Phil Cuzzy just informed Carlos that it was 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a wild pitch allows Revere to go to 3rd.
In front of the home plate.
That was a short one. Chooch telling Phil right there, my bad.
He was pretty sure of himself that it was ball 4. I don't know if he thought maybe the first pitch where Revere stole, if he thought that might have been a ball. So runner at 3rd. Inside, ball 4. Carlos has been on base 3 times tonight. Here's Chase Utley with 2 on and 2 outs.
Now I know Porcello probably is telling Ryan Hannigan where to set up behind the plate, but for my liking, he's setting too far in and off the plate. You have a sinker ball guy, you want to let him still use some of that plate to work that sinker with. Ryan Hannigan right there was really far inside on a 3-2 count, very far inside, and you're not getting a whole lot of plate to work with that sinker, and ends up missing way off the plate.
Well, let's see if the Phillies can capitalize now. They've got a runner at 3rd, a runner at 1st, 2 men down. And Chase Utley, who is 0 for 2 and 0 for 6 so far this season. Time is called. See what Chase did last year with runners in scoring position. seem to be pitching him backwards more and more, at least for the first couple of days of the season.
Every team has the guy in the lineup that you do not want to beat you. Obviously, with the Phillies, it's going to be Chase Utley.
Breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Especially the way he swung the bat in spring training. In his last couple of weeks, he was very Chase-like.
Kind of handcuffed Hannigan, didn't it?
Not expecting the sink will be up that high. Good job of sometimes just get back behind the plate knowing there's a man on third base. And I'm not saying you're going to panic, but you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? But he does a good job there just catching it, actually.
I love watching Chase get set to hit. Nice and relaxed. There's his timing mechanism right there.
Did that a couple of times the other day, that same kind of swing where he was fooled.
Yeah, and this is the same pitch that against Buchholz. Is the changeups that he's not picking up very well right now.
First time Porcello's really been pressured as far as pitch count goes in an inning. He's at 20 right now. Phillies have had base runners, though, the first 4 innings tonight. Swing and a miss. Utley is struck out. Porcello picks up his 2nd strikeout of the night. The Phillies leave a couple. They've left 5 through the first 5 innings. We head to the 6th. It's the Red Sox nothing, the Phillies nothing. Last season because he was racing all around the diamond. Ben became the 12th player in Phillies team history to swipe 40 bases in a single season, and the first since J-Roll did so in 2008. In addition, he tied for the National League lead in hits, led in singles, and put up a career-best .306 average. Revere's Run is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Ben Revere has 1 stolen base this year. It just came a few moments ago as he picked up his first hit of the season. We're scoreless, though, as we go to the top of the 6th. It'll be Xander Bogaerts, Rick Porcello, and then top of the order for the Red Sox. Aaron Herang has faced 1 batter over the minimum. It was because of a single by Pablo Sandoval in the 4th inning. Phillies, though, have gone 14 innings to start the season without a run. Bogaerts grounded to shortstop his first time up. It was a fine play by Freddie Galvis to throw him out. An excellent scoop on the part of Ryan Howard. First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. Bogarts last year finished with 129 hits. That was third among rookies in the American League. Just a bit high, and it's 2-1.
A strike earlier in the game. First pitch to Ben Revere. Bless you, Tom.
Thank you, Matt. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 7 strikeouts for Aaron Herang.
This is just a nice little hard cutter at 88 miles an hour. Just a late dart at the very end. Also, like Bogart was looking for an off-speed pitch.
Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, which Herang has done 4 different times tonight, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. No balls and 1 strike to Porcello. He struck out his first time up. Check swing. And it's 0-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. 8 strikeouts.
I called him the strikeout swing.
Right on it.
The man can flat out check swing.
We saw Aaron Boone earlier up here in the press level, and I played with his brother Brett for a lot of years. And having a bat like that, a swing like that, he'd come back to the bench and he'd say, Davis, you were right on that one. He'd say it to Edgar, he'd say it to each everybody, and you could never get mad at him.
Mookie Betts takes a strike. It's 0-1. Betts has fly to left both times.
It was on the swing, right?
It was a check swing, yeah.
Okay.
Although
That was a full swing, Tom.
was it a full swing?
It's a real slow underwater swing.
He was right on it, Matt. The balls at 2 strikes. 8 strikeouts for Herang. Fly ball right field. And Frank Coors settles under it. And Aaron Herang has been outstanding here tonight for the Phillies. 1-2-3 inning again. Time to get the man some runs. Ryan Howard will hopefully get it started when we come back. Or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Buy Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And buy Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Last of the 6th inning, still scoreless. Red Sox with 1 hit, Phillies with 4 hits. And Ryan Howard, who is 0 for 2, he's grounded out twice to the right side. Will lead it off for the Phils. Mentioned before how Howard, David Ortiz, and Chris Davis are the most shifted players in baseball the last couple of years. Back in 2011, there were 2,500 shifts that were put on against hitters. That seems like a lot, right? Well, last year...
Yeah, until you hear the numbers from last year.
13,000 shifts put on throughout baseball. People are buying into it more and more. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Those numbers out there about the shifts, they're not going anywhere. It's probably going to increase more or at least stay where it is. And hitters are going to have to somehow adjust if they can. Three balls and 2 strikes to Howard.
That's a very good take on a very tough pitch for a left-hander to lay off of. That slider down and then a little cut piece. Three balls, 2 strikes. You always try to tell yourself you take the approach that is 2 balls, 2 strikes. You still might see an off-speed pitch.
Howard is down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Porcello. With 1 away, Darren Ruff's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's standing by with Pat Gillick.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, here with Phillies president Pat Gillick, and sitting here watching the last inning with you, and it's a lot of fun to watch a game with you. You still get so excited over just about every pitch.
Well, I sure do, and you know, Herang's pitching a heck of a game tonight. Kind of chilly weather out here, but he's been around the plate all night. And other than that 1 hit by Sandoval, he's almost been perfect.
Yeah, we said advantage pitcher on a night like that, and you have to take advantage of it when you have that opportunity. Certainly he's doing that. Let's talk a little bit about the team and the organization. We've heard the words. We've heard the word rebuild. We've heard the word transition. Where do you feel right now as this season gets underway? Where do you feel like you guys are in terms of rebuilding this organization?
Well, we're heading in the right direction. You know, we've got to do more. We've got to get as many young players as we possibly can into the organization, get the largest pool of talent. I think that over the winter that we've acquired some pitchers. We'll start that tomorrow night up at Reading. We've got 5 up there who we're confident we're going to get 2 or 3 out of them coming to the big leagues. So we're headed in the right direction. We just got to keep plugging along. We've got to keep grinding it out and do it day in and day out.
You know, before the On Deck series, you addressed a group of fans and you used the word, it's going to be an interesting year. And I think in a lot of ways, that's very true. And interesting because some of the guys you have right here, we don't know a whole lot about yet, but we're learning. Is that part of what you meant?
Yeah, exactly. And there's some opportunity. Freddie Galvis is getting a chance to play where Jimmy Rollins was out there last year. You know, and some of the younger people, Herrera, he's not playing this evening, but he was been in there and he'll be back in the lineup. So that's just a couple of names of people that we have here in the major league level, and hopefully some of those young people are going to move up from Reading and from Lehigh Valley.
Let me take you back to 2 days ago, because you've been in the game for a long time. And opening day is always a special day, and it was a terrific day here in Philadelphia. The results weren't the way you wanted them, but certainly, do you get excited on opening day like everybody else?
Oh, it was a great opening ceremony, and it's too bad that we just couldn't deliver on the field, because pregame was terrific. And Cole gets a little ramped up on opening day. I think everybody gets a little bit ramped up, and I'm certain that he had the adrenaline pumping out there, and so he wasn't as sharp as he should be. But we were in there until late in the game. We were down 4-0 going into the ninth inning, and they ended up getting a grand slam. But our problem, or our challenge, is to score runs. We've got to find a way to score runs, because I think our pitching, if Billingsley comes back, it's going to be fine. And so we just got to find a way to get a few runs across the plate.
Before I let you go, let me just ask you about that, because that really has been what the coaching staff has talked about. And talking to the players, they seem to have really bought into this idea of grinding it out and scratching out the runs and trying to get runs any way you can. Maybe a little bit of a different philosophy from years ago. Do you think they bought in?
Yeah, I think they have, and in spring training it's been, I think, was a real positive situation. Mike Smith was there, Charlie Manuel. We had different guest instructors in, and I think they really bought into the program, and I think they know what we're talking about. So we're going to have to chip away and score runs. We're not going to score in bunches. There's going to be one here, two here, one there, etc. And hopefully we can score enough runs and go out there and win as many games as possible.
And you've been around, as I said, the game for a long time. In your mind, the word is patience this year, but light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Patience, but go out there and give 100% and let the chips fall where they may, and go out there with part of development is winning, and we've got to go out there and try to win every game.
Pat, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I don't want to keep him too long, guys, because I'm telling you, he's living and dying on every pitch, which is great. It's a lot of fun to watch. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Thanks to Pat Gillick for joining us here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody Ashley with the runner at first base. Larry Ruff worked out a walk in his at-bat. To the right side, a base hit. And Ruff will go to second. He'll hold up there. Nava gets to it. And that puts runners on first and second with 1 man down. And Jeff Francoeur is coming up.
I don't know about you guys, but I could listen to Pat Gillick talk about baseball all day long.
He is into it, and his memory is remarkable.
Amazing.
Of players, of moments, of people, of scouts. I mean, it doesn't matter who they are. I mean, he can recall so many different things. He would know that Mark Brownson was the guy that you got the first hit against, Ben, in your Major League career.
He would know that. But it's nice to see. It goes to show you, if you have a passion about something. I mean, and Pat's, he's getting older. He's been around the game for a lot of years. But if you still have that passion for something, you're going to be that much better at it. We know about the 3 World Series he's had as general manager. You know about the additions he's made and the trades and throughout the years. I mean, he loves baseball. He puts that passion into it, and he has the success.
You agree with the assessment, though? Pitching will be fine. The offense is where the Phillies need to ramp it up.
I think so, and you got to find a way. This is the situation right here. You have first and second with 1 out. You need to get that big knock. And, but I agree with what he said. Even though they are trying to do a rebuilding or a lot of patience, all these players are still going out there trying to win every game.
Well, I think they're trying to get some runs here for Aaron Herang. Now, the pitcher spot is due up after Freddie Galvis. They do have Genmar Gomez starting to throw in the bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air to left center field. Towering shot way back there. It is gone! Home run, Jeff Francoeur. The Phillies have scored a run. In fact, they've scored 3. 3-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th. Well, Francoeur said he felt pretty good about the opportunity to play tonight against Rick Porcello, and it pays dividends here in the 6th inning.
Ben, that is what you call a hanging slider, which is kind of surprising that he's been pitching so well tonight with the fastball. But Gets a slider up in the zone. Very nice swing, good bounce, and a huge 3-run homer.
That makes the winner of John Doty of Birdsboro. He's won $200 next to the McDonald's home run jackpot. Pretty sweet swing, too.
It was a great swing, but, you know, getting back to one of the keys of the game is getting guys on base. Ruff had a great at bat. Ashley comes up, squirts one through the hole. Then you have at least some momentum going into that at bat. You have a chance. You're giving your offense a chance when you get the guys on base.
1 ball, 1 strike to Galvis. Out towards center field. Betts is able to get back to it. Took an interesting route after that baseball, and there are 2 outs.
He was just coasting on that, wasn't he? Just very casual, but he got back there.
He kind of curled in and then had to sort of go straight back to get it. So 2 men down. Aaron Herang will stay in at bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, I will say this. I walked in the clubhouse today, and the first guy I saw was Frank Core. He says, "Stairsy, you ready to see the laser show today?" I kid you not. I said, "Man," I said, "you're playing right field?" He goes, "Yep." I said, "Well, impress me." He goes, "Oh, I will." 2 knocks, 3-run homer.
Home run number 141 for his career, first in a Phil's uniform. Last year, Francoeur played only 10 games for the Padres, hit under 100 during that time. Now the 0-2 pitch to Herang.
I like filling in all these squares.
We were doing that the last couple of days of spring training.
Yeah. But how uplifting is that 3-run homer?
It's huge.
You know, I mean, it's just.
Hundred pitches now for Porcello. And Herang is down, looking, side is retired, but the damage is done. The Phillies have not scored a run in 14 1/3 innings to start the season until this swing by Jeff Francoeur. Towering home run to left center field. Gives the Phils a 3-0 lead as we move on to the top of the 7th. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Phillies lead at 3-0. They just got a 3-run home run by Jeff Francoeur in the bottom of the 6th inning. Aaron Herang, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. He's allowed just 1 hit. Pablo Sandoval has the only hit. And Rick Porcello has allowed 3 earned runs in his Red Sox debut. So now we go to the top of the 7th inning. Jake Diekman starts to warm up in the bullpen. Janmar Gomez was throwing. He's standing on the closer mounds. First pitch to Pedroia is taken outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pedroia is 0 for 2. He struck out his first time. Fly to right his last time. Interesting reading some of the articles about Pedroia's opening day. He said, "I'm back to being who I am. I could tell in the offseason I was healthy and I was going to start the season healthy." Instead of shutting himself down the last couple of years with the thumb and wrist injuries, he played through them. More than anything, it affected his power. I guess you could say it affected his batting average some too. He hit .278 last year. Fouls that one off to the right, not a play.
You play the way that Dustin Pedroia plays, you're going to get beat up a little bit. And he's not a guy that's going to take his foot off the gas. So those injuries happen.
He made a couple of very good defensive plays the other day in Monday's ball game, and he said the one that Ashe hit where he picked it on 1 hop, he said that was just trying to get the glove in the right spot, hoping that he'd be able to react to it. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Pedroia. 3-0 Phils here in the top of the 7th. Pitch number 8 in this at bat to Pedroia. And that just missed. Ball 4, first walk of the night for Herang. He's only allowed 2 base runners. Well, speaking of Pedroia, let's take a look at our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well, this game back in the 4th inning versus Ryan Howard. Pedroia going to his right. Goes up and makes a very tough play look very easily. Does a little Matt Houston roll right here. Throws a strike in first place. That is why it's called the defensive play, brought to you by Hyundai. You guys don't know who Matt Houston is?
I feel just in support of you that we should know who he is, but I don't.
Right.
I would assume it has something to do with wrestling. No?
No. We're good.
It's an excellent guess, though, Ben. Who is Matt Houston? You don't know who he is?
I do. You guys do some research and let me know tomorrow. That's your homework for the night.
Well, we can go get Ben's Surface and check it out and see if we can figure out who it is.
You have to go there, Tom.
Just want to see him use it. 0-1 pitch to Sandoval. Slaps it foul. It's 0-2.
You know, I know we as analysts and color commentators, we look at baseball and we always belabor the point shutdown innings. When are they important? Well, they're always important, but especially against a team that has a great offense, like the Boston Red Sox. We saw what they did the other day. You don't want to let these guys get back into their ball game. They have a 3-run lead going in the 7th inning. Obviously, you want to go throw up a 0 right here.
Just a bit outside, 1-2.
That's why Matt and I looked at each other in the 3-2 breaking ball he threw to Pedroia. I don't care if Dustin does hit one 9 miles. It's still 3-1.
Challenge him.
Challenge him. That pitch has been working for him tonight, but I just don't think that was the right situation to throw.
To the right side, that'll get it to right field. A base hit. Pedroia is thinking third. He'll stop at second base. That brings the tying run to the plate, Hanley Ramirez. Jedmar Gomez, Jake Diekman, both warming up with the bullpen. Brad Sandberg was just chatting with Larry Bowa for a moment. Bob McClure. And he's 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Give it a look. It should stay in the yard. He's got room. He can't get there. The wind bring that back or something? Or you just misreading?
The wind, I think a little of both. He was a little too far back, but the wind did bring it back some.
He just missed it. Ramirez trying to put a little English on it and get it out of play. They scored a no play, so no error to Ryan Howard.
The luxury that the Red Sox do have is the fact that Alan Craig on the bench, Shane Victorino, and David Ortiz. So they think they get a favorable matchup later on this ball game. Bring a bullpen piece in, they can match up accordingly.
Pitches now for Herang. That ball just zipped outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just a bit inside. 2-2. Ruiz wanted that one from the bench. It looked like it was right there.
Right near the catcher.
Ball's in. It's a great pitch, but it's still a ball. Now he can do what he wants. He can go back in, go back out away, but he had him looking, had Hanley looking outside. Buzz went in there.
Last batter either way.
Well, I mean, you would think that I don't know. I mean, Napoli or whoever's on deck is now been on deck simple.
If it's Ortiz, then you figure they'll get Diekman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to have CRTs top of the 7th. You might want to wait till the 9th inning until the pitcher comes up. Or Napoli's just staying warm.
It's a heck of a battle right now. Ramirez is doing a heck of a job staying alive. Obviously, the pop-up foul that was misplayed by Howard has prolonged this at bat. And then Ramirez has fouled off some tough pitches. 7 pitches so far in this at bat. Number 8 coming here. At the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Phillies took a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th and a home run by Francoeur. foul ball, and it remains 3-2.
Last couple of pitches that Herang has thrown been 92 miles an hour, the hardest 2 fastballs he's thrown tonight.
Toward right center field. Ben Revere comes charging in and makes the running grab. Boy, we have seen windier days here at the ballpark, but the wind really is playing with some of those baseballs right now. That ball just hit a wall and died.
It did. It went up in the air, thinking it was going to be in the gap a little bit. You can see Ben going back a little bit to the left. Like you said, Tom, it kind of hit a wall and came down.
Well, here comes Ryan Sandberg with 1 man down here in the top of the 7th inning. He is not signaled to the pen yet. Napoli has been introduced. Doesn't look like he's taking him out. It looks like he's just coming out to chat with him about it. Nope, that's it. He is going to take him out. So they're going to go to Gomez with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Nice debut for Aaron Herang. He's going to get a nice round of applause as he comes off the mound here at Citizens Bank Park. He'll lead with a 3-0 lead. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. A pitching change here in Philadelphia. Only pitcher to lead the major leagues in ERA 5 times.
Well, my guess would be
we're boring you, aren't we?
2015 Hall of Fame pitcher Pedro Martinez.
Pedro Martinez is correct.
Petey.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner. Thank you for playing Jeep Stump the Fans.
The best I ever faced. You, Matt?
I copy that.
Well, here's the 5 years where Pedro Martinez won the ERA title. The first one was with the Expos, where he was about 155 pounds soaking wet. And then the 4 different times he did it: 99, 2000, 2002, 2003 with the Sox.
23-4 with a 207.
Yeah, that's devastating right there.
It's just so much better than everybody else.
For that period, yeah. So here is Napoli to face Gomez. Gomez pitched on opening day. Delivers a sinker low, 1 ball and no strikes.
I was almost thinking Roger Clemens might have been the answer, but I think he only did it twice.
And Clemens gave up runs. I mean, it wasn't a ton of runs, but he did give up runs. At the knees, 1-1, 91 with that sinker. When Napoli went into the dugout, he probably went back and hit a little bit and stay warm. I thought maybe they would make a change, but you're right, Matt. 7th inning, so.
Well, there's no confusion as to why Gomez is in the game. He's got a power sinker. He's in there to induce a double play. Can he execute that pitch? Or will that be a sinker? Down and away? He could very well do it with a slider as well. But that's his role. That's what his role is going to be.
So that's the move, and now it's whether the pitcher can execute it. It's the right move, but now the pitcher needs to execute it. We saw him do it during spring training. Now he had to fiddle around with some more pitches the other day when he came in on Monday. Three balls and one strike with runners on first and second. Phillies still have Diekman warming up. And Luis Garcia is throwing again in the bullpen.
Diekman looks like he's getting ready to face Nava. Which then you would see a pinch hitter.
Popped them up. Ruiz will come back and take a look, but that's going to be back into the Diamond Club. And it remains 3-2. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Over toward third, it's a foul ball. And it remains 3-2.
Keep one of those fair, Mike.
Yeah. Right to Cody Ashley over at third. Line drive caught by Galvis, and they've got Pedroia off the second base bag. The man who makes very few mistakes just made a big one there, and it helps the Phils to wrap up the 7th inning. No runs, one hit, and one man left. Jedmar Gomez comes out of the bullpen and gets a double play. Not necessarily the one he expected, but it's time to stretch here in Philadelphia with the Phillies on top 3-0. Following tonight's ball game between the Phillies and the Boston Red Sox, Robbie Ross will take over for Boston on a cold night here in South Philadelphia. Ross last year 3-6, a 6.12 or 6.20 ERA. Ben Revere leads it off, fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Well, that was a huge double play that Genmar Gomez was able to get for Mike Napoli. Keep this at a 3-run ball game. The line is closed on Aaron Herang, just as it is on Rick Porcello. See if the Phillies can get some insurance here in the bottom of the 7th. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can't say enough about the job that Aaron Herang did. Outstanding job. And that's really all the starters are trying to do, put their team in a position to win. And obviously he did that this evening.
Yeah, he wasn't at all overpowering with a mid-90s fastball, but he was overpowering with his pitch selection.
Yeah, and I think he was overpowering with his location.
Yeah. Opposite way, Sandoval to his left. And the ball gets by Napoli, and Revere will at least get to second base. He's thinking 3. There he goes. Napoli's throw is offline. I love the aggressive base running by Ben Revere.
Awesome. That's awesome.
They're going to score that at E5.
Kind of does a nice job to get to it, and just kind of spikes it a little shallow. But what I like right here is Ben, the hustle the whole way. He knows the proper technique of looking over his shoulder, looks back over, realizes he get to third base, does not hesitate out of the batter's box until he slides headfirst into third base.
So he's in scoring position for Ruiz. The infielder's in for the Red Sox. 3-0 Phillies, looking for some more. They've threatened all night long. They have not gone down 1, 2, 3 at all in this game. Carlos does have a couple hits. He's also walked today. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is where you really, really have to tell yourself, middle of the field. You can see with this defensive alignment where the shortstop and second baseman. I mean, that's the place to be, is up the middle.
Well, that was not the crispest of at-bats for Carlos Ruiz. Handcuffed on a pitch that he didn't want. So now it's up to Chase Utley. Just get a fly ball.
Last pitch there was nasty.
Ben Revere will be getting a good secondary lead because he will be going on contact. And this is even when you're on that third base and you're going on contact. You can't be afraid of being doubled off with the line drive. This comes straight from the bench saying you're going on contact. Point of contact, take off.
And take as much as Sandoval will give him. And Sandoval's way off the bag. You may end up beating the play at home plate by half a step.
They say the rule of thumb at third base for your lead, you take as far as lead as you can go as the third baseman gives you, his same distance. So if he's off 15 feet, you come down 15 feet. Green light. 3-0.
Absolutely.
He got it, and he missed it. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Fastball that sort of cut at the last moment. In the air to right field. Nava going back on it. He's got a beat on it. Makes the catch. Revere will tag from third and score. An RBI and a sac fly for Utley. 4-0 Phillies. Well, that's a huge run right there. And on a different night, that ball would have been in the seats in right field. But it did the job.
That ball was smoked. I mean, it was loud up here in the booth. But it's tough to cut that wind blowing right to left today. Talk about a short swing. That's as short and crisp as you'll ever see it. Good fastball in there, too, by Ross.
Howard takes a breaking ball. That's 0-1. Two. .887 RBIs for Chase Utley on that sac fly. It ties Jimmy Rollins for 8th on the Phil's all-time list.
Chase looks really enthused about it.
We will congratulate him properly after the game.
We'll check him for a pulse.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Howard. Inside 2-2. And a called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. Howard thought that was a little in tight. Run does score. It's an unearned run. Thanks to a sac fly by Chase Utley. We'll go to the 8th inning. It's 4-0 Phillies. Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians. Buy Yellowwood. Yellowwood pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. And buy the Quality Plus Sports stores. Go further. On to the top of the 8th inning. Some changes for the Phillies. They've made a defensive change over at first base. Darren Ruff takes over for Ryan Howard. He comes in from left field. Going from center field to left field has been Revere. And the new center fielder is Odubel Herrera. Fouled a ball off his foot the other day. They said he was a little too sore to play today, but he's able to play now. Kenny Giles is the new pitcher. Giles' first appearance of the season. Last year, 64 Ks in 45 2/3. Guys, any concerns about his last outing where he threw 17 pitches in the exhibition game? He said he's fine. Any concerns with anything after that outing?
I don't. For me, no. His velocity started to get up 95, 96. It's just now that I just don't want him to see him fall in love with the slider. At times we see him throwing a lot of pitches and he starts falling in love with that slider. I'd like to see the more fastballs.
Well, he'll face Nava, Hannigan, and then Bogaerts. Bottom of the order. Pitcher spot is due up fourth. All of this in relief of Aaron Herang, who started tonight, went 6 1/3. How about Herang? 18 of the 22 batters he faced, first pitch strikes. It does play a role. There's no question about it. On the outside corner. Over toward first. Darren Ruff knocks it down, but then slips. And Nava's safe at first. E3. And a base runner for the Red Sox. That's very unlike Darren Ruff right there. Kind of lost his balance.
If anything, he might have stretched. He was too close to the ball, so his hands got out, and that's why he yielded it. It's amazing, though. You change positions, the ball will find you.
Every time.
Well, now Hannigan. Hannigan is 0 for 2. A strikeout and a flyout.
Kind of interesting when he throws 94, 95, and we look at each other and kind of whisper, 94, 95, is he all right?
I think it's the nature of it because we're so used to 98, 99, and 100.
His first outing of the season.
It's also 40 degrees.
And he's still building up some arm strength.
Yeah, it was the last week of spring training when he had the tightness in his back.
Correct.
And he was pretty much shut down until we saw him here in Philadelphia, even though he played catch. Didn't matter that Hannigan checked his swing. That's a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Might have gotten away with the slider there. That one was hung a little bit. He kind of threw his head back a little bit after the pitch was fouled away by Hannigan.
Yeah, that was a good one to hit there.
Do it again with the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a bit high. 3-2.
Just because a guy doesn't have great bat speed doesn't mean you can't throw him off speed pitches. They just have to be in the proper location.
Well, they talk about speeding up the bat. It's because if it's hung there in a spot where you can whack it,
then it's going to be in his bat speed. But if it's a well placed off speed pitch, you're going to have success.
There's ball 4, so 2 on with nobody out here in the 8th inning. Clocking in at 70 pages per minute, the HP OfficeJet Pro X is the perfect addition to your starting lineup. And now get 50% off. Get yours today from who but W.B. Mason. All right, so Bob McClure goes out to the mound and chat with Kenny Giles. Utley comes in. Ashy's coming in. Looks like Ruiz did a lot of the talking before McClure came out. Even when McClure was on the mound.
There might be a few technical things that you're telling Kenny Giles right here. But I think it's pretty much to give him a breather. Take a breath. Get back down in the zone. And what you're going to do to try and get a double play here.
Xander Bogaerts is up. Brock Holt is out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. They've got Ortiz, Holt, Victorino, Allen Craig, and Sandy Leon as the backup catcher. He's a switch hitter. First pitch is just a bit inside again. 1 ball and no strikes.
Look good to me.
David Ortiz talking to Chili Davis. Phillies do not have a lefty warming up just in case David Ortiz comes up, which is a little surprising, although you do think of Kenny Giles as a guy that can get lefties and righties out as the setup man in the 8th inning.
But I'd rather have a lefty like a Diekman who throws upper 90s to 100 facing David Ortiz.
Over toward third, fair ball down the left field line. Off the half wall, Revere will get to it, but a run will come in. And it's now a 4-1 ball game. RBI single for Bogaerts. That's an unearned run because of the error to Darren Ruff. But now the tying run is due to come up to the plate. It's got to be David Ortiz, doesn't it?
Nice effort by Cody down the left field line. Just out of the reach of his glove. Good effort.
So it is David Ortiz who will be coming up as a pinch hitter. No lefty in the bullpen for the Phils. It'll just be Kenny Giles. It'll be Ortiz and then Mookie Betts. But Ortiz, well, he's the problem right now because he represents the tying run here in the top of the 8th inning.
About 30 seconds ago, he was sitting there with his fleece and his knit cap on.
Yeah. You know the whole adage, Ben, you can get out of bed and just take a swing.
I guess.
So John Farrell's going to roll the dice here. Wind is starting to whip up even more, and the rain is falling. At least it seems that way a little bit more. Brian Butterfield, the third base coach, he doesn't even take a look to see where Ortiz is standing. First pitch is in there, 0-1. This will get the adrenaline going here if you're Kenny Giles, if you're seeking that. Ball, 1 strike. best slider of the inning so far for Giles right there.
He had the nice late break to get out in front of it. Down and into that left-hander, and David Ortiz overswung.
You throw it again here? What would you do, Ben? Back it up?
Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
Runners take their lead. The 1-2 pitch coming to Ortiz. Got him. He didn't hold up. Strikeout number 1 for Giles. 1 away.
And the reason you throw it there is because the one before A was nasty, and B, Ortiz looked terrible on it. Obviously not picking up the rotation. Go back with it.
I mean, that's a great location. That first fastball over through that one, comes back with a nasty slider, comes back with even a better one. Knowing that he throws 95, you got to speed the body up. That's why you throw the slider.
Mookie Betts, the batter, takes a slider for strike 1.
I know, Matt, you said you don't want to fall in love with the slider, but sometimes you get in situations where that's all a pitcher can throw. Now, if he can locate that fastball like he did the first pitch to Ortiz, then yeah.
The ball's 2 strikes. Oh, good spot. Really good spot. Phil Cuzzy.
Come on, Phil.
Yeah, he hasn't been tight with that strike zone tonight. He really hasn't. Yeah, I know Ruiz moved his glove a little bit. That was a pretty good pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be out of play. And we will do it again. Floated out toward right. Here comes Francoeur charging in and makes the catch and fires to first, not in time. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. He's got a glove on his throwing hand.
Of course he does.
Was he Peyton Manning?
I love watching him play the outfield. He's so smooth, never panics. Got that nice glove on and try to get more guys sleeping.
You really haven't. You don't see guys with a glove on their throwing hand in the game of baseball.
Not very often.
Think he's having fun out there?
I think, thinking 10 games last year with San Diego. Get another chance here with the Phillies. Here's Pedroia with 2 on. Pedroia tonight 0 for 2. He walked his last time up.
Keep the ball down.
That is one hefty swing right there.
The little fellow likes it up high.
This is where you have to tell yourself as a pitcher, hey, there's still work to be done. And a big strikeout to Ortiz, fly ball to right.
This is the hardest out right here.
But this is the hardest out.
Overthrown a little bit, even though his velocity is 93, 94. He's trying to throw it through the glove of Carlos Ruiz. Papelbon starts to loosen in the bullpen. The bases are now loaded. And Pablo Sandoval will be the hitter. Sandoval tonight has singled twice, 2 for 3. Aaron Herang started with the first 6 of the third, allowed 2 hits, struck out 8, was outstanding. Genmar Gomez got the final out in the 7th inning, and here we are in the 8th inning. The Phillies got an insurance run in their half of the 7th. First pitch is outside, 1-0.
28th pitch this inning.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing this with Kenny Giles. I mean, it's based on last year, obviously, and there's no reason to panic, but we're not used to seeing this.
Right.
I mean, he's a power pitcher, but he was a strike thrower last year.
Almost looks like the last 4 pitches that he has thrown, he's trying to guide it in there instead of just let it go. Oops.
Now, at a point like this, would you go back to the slider to try to get your slot back here? I mean, it's 2-0.
He threw the first pitch slider.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't close either.
He is out of wiggle room. 3 balls and no strikes. Hannigan's at third. Bogarts is at second. And Pedroia's at first. Ruiz will take a slow walk out to the mound. They're giving Papelbon some extra time. That's also interesting that Papelbon is up and warming here in the 8th inning. It is a safe situation, obviously, but not normal for him to be up for more than an inning save. Ball 4, that forces it a run. It's a 4-2 game. 3rd walk of the inning for Giles. And you would think they're going to have to go get him. We'll see what they decide. 2 unearned runs because of the error by Ruff to begin the inning. And here comes Ryan Sandberg. So Sandberg takes the slow walk out to the mound, and that looks like it's going to be it for Kenny Giles. And it looks like they're going to go to Papelbon here in the 8th inning.
That's unfortunate. He was so close to getting out of that. But you can learn from it.
Back to the bullpen they go. Jonathan Papelbon coming on to face his former team. Who are the 4 players who best represent the history of the Philadelphia Phillies? And who are the 4 greatest living Major League Baseball players? Go to MLB.com/franchise4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game, July 14th on Fox. Tight spot here at the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies lead was at 4. It was 4-0 as the inning began. But now 2 unearned runs have scored. Red Sox have only 3 hits today. But 3 walks in this inning, an error by Darren Ruff, have kind of opened the door for the Sox. They have the bases loaded. And the Phillies will turn to the Red Sox former closer, their current closer, Jonathan Papelbon, in his first game of the year. Last year, Pap had 39 saves. And here he is to face Hanley Ramirez. There's been a mist falling for most of the day. Papelbon 219 career saves as a member of the Boston Red Sox. 106 saves as a member of the Phillies. Now the first pitch. Fastball in there, 0-1. Going back toward the wall. Does he have room? He does, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. Oh, man. Ben Revere tracks it down, and Papelbon works out of a bases-loaded jam here in the 8th inning. 2 runs scored, 2 unearned runs scored. And that one was just down toward the end of the bat, and Ben Revere was able to track it down. You can wipe your brow, everybody. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 4-2 game.
Game in the 6th inning, but we weren't the only ones that heard from him today. Phillies president, part of the college media night that the Phils hosted, as well as myself and Rob Brooks, Greg Castriato, John Brazier. You see there about 150 college students from in and around the Delaware Valley got a chance to ask some questions and find out what it was like to be a part of the Philadelphia Phillies organization. It was a great evening tonight, and I think most of those fans are still here. Most of the college kids guys are still here enjoying what has turned out to be a pretty good baseball game as well.
Very entertaining game. Murph, it's the first of a couple that they'll have during the course of the season. And we listened to you guys chatting with those students. Swing and a miss. As Ogando is the new pitcher for the Red Sox. Yeah, we were up in the office listening to your answers. You guys were giving them some pretty good knowledge.
Well, it never ceases to amaze me how sharp some of these kids are coming out of these universities in and around Philadelphia. Some great questions, really insightful questions, trying to figure out the best way to start a career in sports media. So hopefully we gave them some answers that will help them out.
No balls and 2 strikes to Darren Ruff. If you want to find out more about the next event that's going to happen here at Citizens Bank Park as Ruff is down on strikes, you can go to Phillies.com. That's a great honor, though, to have Pat Gillick ask some questions to a guy that's a Hall of Famer. Not that, no offense to you, Murph, but to ask Pat Gillick some questions about his knowledge of the history of baseball and what he's been able to accomplish during his years.
Hey, I was still excited to get to ask Pat some questions today, so I get it.
Is that where you got the idea?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Cody Ashley is the batter. Ashley's 1 for 3. Scored a run his last time. Fly ball left field. And the Ramirez has to put the brakes on. And there are 2 outs. He slipped in the spot out in the outfield. You know, yesterday Rick Porcello was here at the ballpark just throwing, just catching, and I was watching the video of it. And that area out there where he was throwing, it was chewed up pretty good. But that's where Ramirez slipped as he came in.
He could have. We could have some mud still caked on his spikes from his at-bat last half inning.
Jeff Francoeur is the reason the Phillies have this lead. His 3-run home run broke a 0-0 tie in the 6th. 1 ball, no strikes to Francoeur. And it's 1-1.
Well, speaking of Francoeur back in the 6th inning, with a slider right down the middle of the plate. Hits it far enough to left field for a nice 3-run home run. First home run for the Phillies this year. You can see the joy coming into the dugout.
Ogando delivers a breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to him. Alexi Ogando. One's out toward right center field. Betts is there, and now he comes running in and makes the catch. He really brought that one back. A 1-2-3 8th inning. So on to the top of the 9th. The Phillies lead it by 2. Those are the guys coming up for the Red Sox. Beer pop-up photo and collectible magnet, membership card, discount, and membership benefits. $15 is the cost. For information or to register, go to Phillies.com/junior Phillies club. On to the top of the ninth inning. The Phillies lead it 4-2. All right, so Jonathan Papelbon has done this before. 36 saves of more than 3 outs. Last time was May of 2013. That's the thing. This is not a common occurrence, particularly with a Phillies uniform on for Jonathan Papelbon.
Well, and usually when you have a bullpen as strong as the Phillies usually do. You know, Diekman wasn't pitching tonight, but Giles ran into a little trouble, and he's called upon to get 4 outs. He's done it before, and he's had success.
Well, he didn't have to sit all that long because the Phillies went down pretty quickly in their half of the 8th inning. So here's Mike Napoli with the score 4-2. Napoli is 0 for 3. He has struck out. He's lined into a double play, which was a big play back in the 7th inning. Pedroia was wandering off the bag. First pitch is a slider, and it missed low. 1 ball and no strikes.
We never like to call games must-win games, but this is a game you're up 4-0 on the Red Sox. You want to win the game, get in that win column, feel good about yourself going in to win a series tomorrow.
And you got a guy that pitched so well to start this game in Aaron Herang. You just, and we said this, how many times did we say this last year? I'm sure you said it too, Ben, on the postgame show.
2 minutes.
You just don't want to waste a good outing. 1 ball and 1 strike to Napoli.
I thought you were going to say turn the page.
There were a lot of things we said last year. Bit high, 2-1.
I thought you were going to say a tee shot. Never waste a good tee shot.
Yeah, I've wasted a million of those.
Good pitch.
Papelbon thought it was strike 3. It's 2-2.
He must have thought the first pitch was a slider. He threw it to strike.
I thought the first pitch was a strike. Fly ball to left field. If the last one didn't go out, this one's not going to. Revere is under it, dancing, making the catch. 1 out. Coming up, former pro Ricky Vitalico gives his analysis of the Phillies' performance against the Red Sox. Plus, hear from Ryan Sandberg and reactions from the clubhouse on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. 1 away. Here's Daniel Nava, who is 0 for 3. Reached on an error his last time up. Nava's grounded out. He's popped out. And that error by Darren Ruff enabled him to reach to start the 8th inning. Reminder, the Phillies will wrap up this series tomorrow against the Red Sox. Will be on Comcast Sportsnet beginning at 7 o'clock. Tickets are still available for that final game. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. David Buchanan, who pitched so well in spring training, will get the start for the Phillies. Justin Masterson will start for the Red Sox. Overpowered him with that location of the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2.
did have really good jump on his fastball in spring training. Saw the ball really coming out of his hand well.
Fly ball, shallow left field. Galvis is there, so is Revere, and it's Ben who makes the call. And 2 outs. One out to go. And Ryan Hannigan will be the batter. So it was Herang for 6 1/3, Gomez for 2/3, Ken Giles for 2/3, and now Papelbon trying to make it an inning and a third save. Hannigan takes upstairs. So at a Major League scoreboard, how about the Atlanta Braves? They've swept out the Marlins 3-0 the final score, 2-0 the final score. So much for all those changes affecting them, at least not for the first 3 days.
Especially with the ball club that made a lot of changes in the Florida Marlins.
Very true.
That's what makes this game so wonderful. You just never know. Nasty slider there. I'd like to see that one too.
Yeah, that wasn't a slur.
0-2.
That was zipped.
He's dirty.
Papelbon's 16th all time on the Major League Baseball saves list with 325. Two-one pitch coming to Hannigan. Fouled it away. It's 2-2. He is 6 saves away from tying Jose Mesa's franchise record of 112 saves. This crowd, and they're a hardy bunch, 26,000 plus on their feet for those that have stuck around, and a good portion have. The 2-2 pitch coming to Hannigan. I have no idea how he got a piece of that. Was it catcher's interference? That's what happened. Okay. So that'll go down as an E2.
That is what you call one late swing. Look how far the ball's by him before he swings.
Ahead of Bogart's 0-1. Holt is out of the on-deck circle. The Red Sox have already used David Ortiz. There's Brock Holt.
This is where you tell your outfielders to back up a few steps. No doubles over your head. Cut the ball off in the gap. I'd like to see Darren Ruff play behind the runner at first base.
Bogart's helped out Papelbon there, and it's now 0-2. Let's see what Ruff does. He's still holding the runner out at first. It's not a bad point there, Matt, just to close up that hole.
Yeah, we'll just back up, play behind him. Still guard the line, not as much. Just gives you a better opportunity to go to your right to cut off the ball.
No balls and 2 strikes. Papelbon is set, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the Phillies have picked up win number 1 here in 2015. They win it by a final score of 4-2 as Jonathan Papelbon, an inning and a third save to close the door for